On today's TekkitCrunch, Ted and John will walk you through the first steps of creating your own Tekkit server. Don't miss out, it's episode 1, Broken Windows.
So crunchy.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I'm an electrical engineering student. I am administrator of the TekkitCrunch server.
And I'm Ted, and I am a network administrator, and I have my bachelor's degree in computer science. I'm single, and I'm a Libra. Oh, this is Minecraft, not Match, right?
Ted, focus.
Sorry.
Available, ladies. I don't think too many ladies will watch this video series, though, Ted.
Probably not. No. Yeah.
Maybe you should go back to Match.
You can't. You can't blame me for trying.
No. So today we're going to be turning some old computer hardware into a Tekkit server, namely Crispy.
This Commodore 64.
This is Crispy.
It seriously looks
Crispy.
like a Commodore 64.
You put a disk in it?
I did. A floppy.
Does it boot Windows?
No. Crispy will never boot Windows.
And there's a reason for that, because, ladies and gentlemen, Windows is not a very good server operating system.
Not at all.
I would say it's an opinion, but it's just not.
And the reason why we feel that way is that if you want your Tekkit server to be up and running consistently, you do not want to use Windows.
Right. I mean, for one thing, heaven forbid, Windows Update should decide to install itself, and then, you know how it does. It's like, oh, I'm going to shut down your computer in 15 minutes. Better save your work. Well, what if you're not there to click the cancel button? And then your server goes down. And what if you don't have a script to bring your Tekkit server back up when Windows comes back?
Right.
Yeah. So Tekkit in Windows, bad idea, I think. So today we're going to show you how to use Debian, a flavor of Linux and one of my favorites.
And one of mine too, yes. Not Fedora.
Not Fedora.
Which is another one of my favorites, not John's.
No Fedora. Too difficult.
Yeah.
Don't like Fedora.
No. And the reason why we chose Debian Linux is because it's one of the oldest Linux distributions, and it's the most reliable.
Oh, it's very friendly too, and I think relatively easy to use. We won't be using a graphical user interface at all. It'll all be keyboard, console.
Command line.
Goodness. Yeah.
Command line's fun.
So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the install video. We've got a clip for you guys to watch to learn how to install and set up Debian for your Tekkit server.
Hey, John, come here for a sec, though. First.
What?
You know how we were talking about Windows? Microsoft Windows? This
is
what
breaks
it is.
easy. You just broke my Windows.
Yeah.
I could get a virus now.
Yep. We're taking down the firewall.
Oh my god. See how easy Windows breaks?
Yes.
Ugh.
All right, let's roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Yep.
Now with 100% more crunch.
Okay, so once you fire up your burned ISO to the CD and all that, and you boot off your CD, you're going to be presented with this screen. And for this demonstration, we're actually going to use graphical install. So you select graphical install and then click enter. Okay, so once you choose graphical installation, you're going to get presented with this screen, which is basically select language. So I'm going to go ahead and choose English. You choose whatever country or language you're from and click continue. Select your country. That's United States. And your keyboard key map. So you can, once again, you can choose whatever is going to be easiest for you. We're going to go ahead and select American English and click continue. And now it's going through and it's starting to load all the tools it needs to, into memory. Starting to load all the tools it needs in order to set up and configure your base Debian installation. So once this is done, it's then going to do a network hardware and start installing your network interface, and it's automatically going to use DHCP. For now, we're going to leave that. You can go back and put in your static IP address, but later on in these tutorials, we're going to actually show you how to go in and change your DHCP network interface into a static IP address. So first thing you want to do is give it a host name, and that we're going to call that TekkitCrunch. This is the name of your server. So you just type it in, click continue. The domain name, this is the domain name that your home internet provider usually provides. You can change this if you like, but for simplicity, we're just going to leave it as the default domain name. And click continue. Now we're going to assign it a root password. The root password is like the administrative password under Windows. So you want to make sure it's hard enough that nobody else can figure it out, but easy enough for you to remember. And also, you never want to be in as root all the time. You can accidentally delete a file and really hose your whole system up really bad. So give it a good root password and click continue. We're now going to start setting up the first user. We're going to call it George. And your username for the account, again, George. And now you want to give it another password for that user you're setting up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright. And click next. Now you want to configure your clock. So basically you just choose your time zone, Central for me, and click continue. Now we're going to start setting up our disk. Sounds complicated, really not. For this one, for ease of use, we're just going to say use the entire disk. You can partition it differently if you want, but again, for this, we're just going to say use the entire disk. So go ahead and click continue. Select your disk. If you have more than one hard drive in here, you'll see other hard drives in here. I'm using this under a virtual machine, so obviously there's only one hard drive. So click continue. Now here we're going to use all files in one partition, and we're doing that for ease of use. That is kind of like under Windows you have your C drive. That's what this first one is, all files in one partition. It's like having all your files under the C drive. By practice, you should have at least your home partition, your home directory partitioned in its own partition. But again, for ease of use, we're just going to go with this. If you're really hardcore and you want to have everything on the safe side, use this one. That really separates all these partitions out into separate partitions, and you can, if you screw something up, you can recover easier if you're using this partition scheme. But again, we're going to go with that. So click continue. And are we finished? And are we going to write these changes to disk? Yes, continue. And for some reason it asks us again. It's making sure you don't want to blow away anything you don't want to blow away. So write the changes to disk, yes, and continue. Now it's going to go through and partition the hard drive. You're going to notice that's how fast it is to do an 8 gig hard drive. That was pretty quick to actually partition and format. That's one of the things like where Windows falls a little behind. It takes forever to format a hard drive. Now we're going to go through and actually start installing the base system. These are the base tools that Debian needs in order to boot and run. This usually will take about 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video here, and when it's almost done, I'll bring it back. Okay, we're back. So now it's almost done installing the base system, and we're going to be moving on here in a sec to start selecting our mirrors and installing extra software. Basically what it's doing right now, though, it's downloading and installing all the packages and all that the base Linux system needs in order to run. And what this is gonna do for you is actually, I mean, like we kept saying before, is that we're gonna do the base install. So now we're going to we want to select our mirror. Since I live in the United States, we're going to select United States. So continue. I'm going to highly suggest you never use the very first Debian.org archive mirror. It's usually getting bogged down and real busy, and it fails a lot. You want to actually try to pick one that's really close to you. So for me, since I live by Chicago, I'm going to use the Debian uchicago.edu mirror. This is the University of Chicago. It's really good. It's always been pretty fast for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. I'm not behind a proxy server, so we're going to just go ahead and click continue again. And now it's configuring apt. Apt is the tool that allows you to download, install, and configure software for your system. So this usually just takes a minute to go through. And here we go, almost done. And now we're going to start, it's going to start going through and upgrading and installing all the software that we just installed. So this usually takes, again, just a few more minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and pause it and come back when it's ready. Okay, we're back. So while doing that upgrade of all the package information and stuff, it stops and asks, do we want to participate in this package usage survey? I always say no. You can say yes if you like, and basically what this does is it helps see which packages are being used the most. But again, I always say no with this. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. And it's going to go through and do some more installation. And now here it comes up to this, where we want to choose what software we want to install on top of our base system. I'm going to actually uncheck this graphical desktop environment. And we are going to select SSH. Now the reason why we're doing this is if you have a graphic environment, that's added overhead on the processors and RAM that when you're running a TekkitCrunch server, you kind of want to really manage. So by having this graphical desktop, you don't really need it in order to run the Tekkit server. And so we're just going to install the SSH server, which allows us to remote into the terminal and manage the server that way. And then we also have our standard system utilities. Those are just a set of tools that you can use to manage the system a little bit easier. So this is the software that we're going to install. Now, if you have a really, really beefy server, then you can go ahead and install the graphic desktop environment if that makes you a little bit more comfortable. For us, we always we go with the base so that we can get the most performance out of our processor and memory. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and now it's going to go through and start installing all the software that we just chose and upgrading any software that's already installed on the system. And so it's kind of like doing the Windows updates before anything else, before you're even in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again. This takes, again, just about 2 to 3 minutes, but I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's ready. Okay, so now it's done installing all the software that we selected, and we're getting ready to now install our Grub bootloader. This is the final step of the installation. So it's going to ask us, do we want to install the Grub bootloader into the master boot record? Yes. If you feel you can go ahead and do a little bit better job of managing the Grub bootloader, go for it. But my experience is it always needs to be in the master boot record. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Alright, now it's going to go ahead and install that bootloader. And it's now updating it, and now our installation is almost done. So it's just doing its final settings and stuff. And so our installation is complete. Click continue. It's now going to go ahead and restart the system. Don't let all that scare you either. That's just it's just the system going down, and now it's actually going to be starting up. So here's Debian, and we're going to load it. And here we go. We're going to have our terminal here in a second. Now it's just going through and initializing everything. And now we just want to log in. So we're going to use George to log in. And our password. And voila, you now have a full Debian base server. Hope you enjoyed this, and we hope to hear from you.
Tune in next time to learn how to set up your Debian server to run Tekkit.
Frickin' Commodore! So
We'll give you valuable information on security and automation. Don't miss the next episode of TekkitCrunch.
I hate this thing. Alright.
Oh my god. Get out of here. Okay, let's record the video like this.
You keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
Is it too big or too small?
It was too, it's too small. Hold on.
Yay! The truth comes out.
No, you bastard. God damn it.
And look at that body.
The Planck constant of action has the dimensionality of areal momentum, or... Oh, that's right. I'm just supposed to say, crunchy.